Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tisetso Silikwe, and yeah, today I decided to just go into detail on the story of my miscarriage. I hope this story encourages you. I hope it revives your hope, and yeah, please don't forget to like and to subscribe. So let's get into the video. So I don't think I've ever really spoken about my story, my miscarriage story in full, mainly because I think I was afraid to relive the scenes, because it's very difficult for you to confront your brokenness without or rather it's impossible for you to confront your brokenness without reliving the scenes and literally reminding yourself of what caused your brokenness. So I think for the longest of times I was just like, you know what, I'm okay, it happened, and let's move on. Until yesterday, I don't know, I was just so overwhelmed with emotions, and I was just like, you know what, there's just so many people who might be going through what I'm going through right now, and who feel as though God has turned his back against them. And I was just like, you know what, let me use my story to encourage someone. And yeah, so I think I'll just start, because I'm going in detail with this one. So in December 2018, we were at a family gathering, and everybody, had their suspicions that I'm pregnant. And I'm just like, no, I'm not pregnant, because I was on the pill. I was on the injection. So I was just like, it's impossible. I cannot be pregnant. Okay. So, and by then I was taking some, actin that helped me, that helped with my appetite, because I didn't have appetite and I was losing so much weight. And after taking those pills, I started to regain the weight, because it makes you eat. And I was like, no, I'm gaining weight because I'm taking these pills. It's not pregnancy at all. And other than me gaining weight, I didn't have any symptoms to show that I was pregnant, But because of everybody's comments and how they reacted to me, I was just like, okay, let me just go buy a test and see. So I bought a test, and the test came out negative. And I bought another one just to confirm, and then it also came negative. So I waited another week to take another test, and it also came out negative. So I'm just like, yeah, well, I'm not pregnant. And I think a month later, I don't know what told me, like, I just felt like, you know what, I need to go buy a test again and make sure that I'm not pregnant. So usually, when I'm on the injection, I don't go on my periods at all, but I just feel like, man, there's just something going on. In January, there was a cyst that grew close to my vaginal lip. And when I went to Dr. Google is like, you might be pregnant, you might have cancer, his favorite, and all the other things that were listed. So I canceled everything else. I was like, okay, maybe it's pregnancy, maybe I should go take a test. So I woke up in the morning, and I wanted to use my first urine, so then I didn't have the chance to do that, because it's either I went to pee like at 3 a.m. and I forgot that I needed to take the test. But anyway, so I ended up not taking the test at all. But this cyst started growing. It started growing to a point where it made it difficult for me to walk. And I think then came a time where I had a nightmare. I had like a horrible dream. It was like an inception type of thing. So okay, I went to bed that night. I said my prayers, and all of a sudden I'm dreaming about this person. She's light or white. I don't know if she was white or just light in complexion. She had long hair, and her eyes were blurred out. You know how demons look in movies, exactly like that. And this person was trying to take something from me. I think the person was trying to take my soul or something. And she had this weird voice, like, sorry, but that's how this thing sounded. And I remember when she tried to grab me, I woke up. What came out of my voice was what was coming out of her voice. And my husband jumped up now because he's scared, like, what's going on with you? Why are you speaking like that? What's going on? And I'm just like, I don't know. I prayed. I think I even prayed for like 5 seconds. The minute I hit my head on the pillow, I'm in the dream again. I'm back into the dream again. And this time they were like little demons, little babies that look like little kids that look like this thing. And they were just trying to grab a hold of me. I just don't know what they were looking for. And I woke up again and I'm now praying again. Now my husband thinks I'm making it up because now why am I going in and out of sleep and still, screaming, and then I woke up and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna sleep because that dream was scary. I think I said a little prayer, but I kept wondering why I'm having such a horrible dream. So I went to work. So I stayed up from 3 a.m. I stayed up. I went to bath when it was time for me to go bath, and I went to work. The whole day I couldn't shake the feeling of that there was some evil going on that I couldn't explain. And cool, when I came back home, and I remember I told somebody at work, like, this is what's happening. And she was like, no girl, you need to go pray. Maybe that place that you guys moved into is haunted. So cool, I went and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. Yeah, and my husband wasn't home because he was working late, and I was just praying into the house, praying and just praying, casting out demons like crazy. And yeah, so I left that. And the following weekend, so now remember, now I have this cyst and it's growing, and it makes it difficult for me to walk. So I'm with my friends and we were supposed to watch the the game together. It was, I think, Kaiser Chiefs and something was playing. And then we ended up not going. When I got to the place, to my friend's place, we were chilling. It was nice, and this thing started growing. It started becoming very painful. Like, it was this throbbing pain that kept coming and going. And later that night, that cyst then burst, but it had like blood in it. So I got scared. I'm just like, oh no, what is going on? I called my mom and I'm like, yo mom, is that thing that I told you about, it just burst, but there's blood in it. And so my mom's like, no, go check it out, go to the pharmacy, go to the hospital, whatever you do, just go check it out, go check what it is. So I tell my friend, I'm like, what if I'm having a miscarriage and I didn't know? What if I was pregnant and I didn't know? And then we brushed it off, and then we went to the hospital. I got there, and I think, oh no, the first hospital didn't take emergencies, so which is where my gynae was. And then I went to another hospital. When I got there, they made me wait for hours. I think we got there at 11, if not 12. Yeah, we got there at 12 midnight, and the doctor only came to see me at 3 a.m. So the nurse comes in and she takes my urine to go do tests, and then I wait another hour, then the doctor comes, and oh no, the nurse comes, and then she takes my urine, she does the test, and she's like, you know what, we found blood in your urine, I'm gonna run a pregnancy test. She's like, are you pregnant? I'm like, not that I know of. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna run a pregnancy test and all other tests and just come back. So then she comes back and she doesn't tell me anything. She puts the paper there where she wrote the results for the doctor to see, and she doesn't say anything to me. She's like, no, the doctor's gonna see you. I wait another hour, and the doctor comes in, and he's like, oh, he does the checks. He checks out the cyst, and he's like, okay, there's still a bit of pus that's in there, so we're gonna give you antibiotics and whatnot. And then he's like, so I see that you were 6 weeks pregnant. I'm like, I am what? I remember looking at my friend, I'm like, huh? I am who? And he's like, yeah, you're 6 weeks pregnant. He runs a scan through everything. It's like, okay, the cervix is closed, everything is fine, you're 6 weeks pregnant, congratulations. And I'm like, okay. And like I said in the video, in my testimony, at that time it was just so much trauma happening. You know, I had just left my work and things were not going okay from on my side. It was just a lot of things that were going on at once, and I just felt like it came at a time where I felt like everything was just closing in on me. Everything that I tried to do was just not working out. And when I found out that, you know what, there is hope, you're carrying hope, it was as though, for me, I took it as though God is like, I'm doing something, I'm opening things for you. You know how we, always liken pregnancy to good news, to birthing new stuff and stuff. And I was just like, I was so excited. And so yeah, we left the hospital. The following morning was a Sunday, so we went to church. And I went to church, and when I came back, when I was driving back, I just felt weird. Like I felt like a burning sensation on my abdomen, and then my lower abdomen. And then I was just like, oh no, it's nothing. So I kept praying. I was praying, and then I had to meet up with my friends again for lunch, and for Sunday lunch. So I got there. I had to drive behind her, and she was leading the way. And as I was driving, I feel something coming out of me, and so I hoot and I stop my friend, and I'm just like, something is going on and I need to go to the hospital now. And she comes. So we rush into, she leaves her car, she gives it to somebody else, and she's the one who's driving. And the whole time I am crying, I am just, I'm just speaking in tongues. We're praying, we're both praying. We like, and we had to pick another friend of ours now, to go with us to go get lunch, right? So we're praying there in tongues, and this girl Shem, she's so shocked, she's so confused as to why are these people crying, and why is this one crying, and why are they praying in tongues, what's going on? So the only thing she could do was to pray as well, because she doesn't know what's going on. So we get to the hospital. I tell them, listen, I was here yesterday and this is what's going on. I need to see a doctor now, and I was so traumatized. I remember even when I was calling my mom and my mother-in-law and my husband, I was just not in the right space. The only thing I was saying to God, I was like, Lord, please, not my hope. Lord, please. I kept saying that. I'm like, I'm not losing this baby. I will not lose this baby. In Jesus' name. I was praying, and we get to the hospital, and wait for the doctor. We didn't wait that long, and he checks me, and he's like, no, it's not bad, the blood is not a lot, so it's normal, and you just need to take it easy, rest. And he said to me, the baby, you are he confirms that yes, you are 6 weeks pregnant, but the baby's fine. But before that, a lady comes in and she takes my blood, and she's like, I've lost babies a lot of times. I don't know if it was to comfort me, but I really didn't receive that well. She comes in and she's like, I lost a lot of babies, and sometimes you just have to let it go. Don't hold on to it. As long as you see blood, just know it's over for you. And then she takes my blood and she leaves, and I'm just like, what just happened? I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, what if it's the girl I was dreaming about? But anyway, so after that, I went home. I was supposed to be on bed rest, so I slept. I think the first night I slept. The second night, I was just like, you know what? I felt the urge to go pray, so I went to pray, and I was just like, Lord, I don't know what's going on, but I know for a fact that you will protect this child. And I was thanking God for the pregnancy. I was just, thanking God for hope, because honestly, guys, I took that personally. I took that pregnancy personally, and obviously it's personally because it's in me. But anyway, so I prayed, and I was praying so hard, and I was just, dedicating the child to God. And I was like, I was within, deep prayers in there. And all of a sudden I feel something coming out again. And I'm like, no, it's not happening. It will not happen. So this is me now rebuking the devil. And I'm just like, no, no, no. It is not happening. I will not lose this child. Not now, not ever. And then I was just like, no. So I woke my husband up, and I'm just like, I'm bleeding. We need to go to the doctor. So again, we rush to the hospital. We get there, and we go to a different doctor because I didn't want to wait long. And then we get there, the first doctor sees me, and they ask me a lot of questions about, is this your first pregnancy? Is this that? Is this that? They check, everything is okay. I see another doctor, and they ask me if I want to be admitted. So I see another doctor, and the doctor checks me. They didn't have like the latest scans. I don't know why. And then he checks me, and she checks me, and she's like, you know what? Everything seems okay. I see everything is still functioning. Everything is perfect, but I just don't know why you were bleeding. And the bleeding wasn't that much. It wasn't a lot of blood. It was really, really light blood, where it was as though it was mixed with discharge, and I was just like, I don't know why I'm bleeding as well. I hoped you could tell me, but and then cool. I told her, you know what, in the morning, because there's nothing that they were gonna do to me in hospital. So in the morning, I'll just go to my gynae and find out what's going on. So in the morning, go to the gynae, and I wait. I get frustrated. I go to the toilet, and I see blood, and I went to the receptionist, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't care who's next. I'm just gonna go in because I'm bleeding. I'm pregnant, and it's not supposed to be happening. I go in there, and luckily I was actually next. So when the other patient went out, I went to see the doctor, and I went there. I got in there, and I'm just like, doc. He was happy to see me, thinking, oh, you're pregnant again. I'm like, no, time for chit chat. I'm pregnant. I'm 6 weeks pregnant, and I'm bleeding. And he rushes me to where he does all the scans, and then we sat there. And then he starts, scanning. He scans me, and he scans me, and he says, there's definitely a baby in there. I breathe. He looks at me. He looks at the screen, and he's like, I'm sorry, but there's no heartbeat. Your baby stopped breathing. And I'm like, what? And okay, so I'm like, no, it can't be, because I prayed for this child. No, but what are you then saying now to me, Lord? This was supposed to be a symbol of things working out for me, And cool, he asked me, okay, do you want to do that procedure? I forgot what the procedure is called. Yeah, where they go clean your womb. And I'm like, let's do it now so that I can get it over and done with and go rest at home. And I cried, guys. I cried like, I don't know. I cried like I don't know. I cried. And I remember sitting on that hospital bed and just thinking, wow, what just happened? Like, everything just happened so quickly. Like, I literally had 2-minute joy, and now it's taken away from me. I was so desperate for a breakthrough at that time, that when that happened, it crushed me so much. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand why God would do that. I feel like my hope, my trust, my faith was way up there, and I just didn't understand. Oh, and then cool. I get discharged, and I decide, you know what, I want to go to my mom's. And yes, so I left, and I went to my mom's place, and I sat there. And as I was sitting there, I was just trying to make sense of everything. And I'm like, Lord, you said in your word that we need only faith as little as a mustard seed to move a mountain. And my faith was way bigger than a mustard seed. Yet still you saw it fit. To take that one thing away from me, And I was angry, but I also I also like I was conflicted because I know for a fact that he has plans for me, and his plans are to prosper me and not to harm me. But it was so difficult for me to see that this what's happening right now was not to harm me. And I'm just like, Lord, even if there's foul play in all of this, thinking about the dream I had as well, I'm like, even if there's foul play in this whole thing, you are a sovereign God, you're an almighty God, you are able to make all of that stop, but you didn't do it. Then there was a song that I started listening to that my friend sent to me like a while back. I will send the link. I'll just put the link down below because I can't think of the name right now because I'm just. And it says, I'm so confused. I know I've heard you loud and clear, and I followed through. And it says that there's a part where it says that how am I supposed to see your goodness when it doesn't feel good right now. It says that I know that you're good, but it doesn't feel good right now. And all I have to say to you right now is, let your will be done. So it says, all I have to say to you right now is, thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done. So I kept rehearsing that in my mind. You know what? I'm just like, if this is your will and this is a part of me being your will, then let it be done. Because then I had to come to a realization that even because I asked myself, I'm like, but I was praying I was praying, for this child. Why did this happen? And I realized that, God's will prevails over everything and anything. And my prayer and my desperation will not always, give me the results that I want, but God's will always stand. My prayer is not a manipulation of his will, it's not for me to manipulate what he had already destined or what he has already planned for my life. And I had to come to a point where I now understand that, whatever it is, whatever my lot, I am teaching every single part of my body. I'm teaching every single part of my emotions to say it is well. I'm teaching myself to say it is well, and I will trust what you're doing, because in all honesty, I've seen you do it before. I've seen you come through for people before. I've seen you come through for me, and there's no way I can look to anybody else but you. And even in the storm, I know for a fact that I cannot trust anybody else but you, because at the end of the day, you're the one who created that storm. That storm bows down to you. So if I ever try to find comfort in anything else that is outside of you, then I'm doomed. It hurt so much. And I remember yesterday, I just couldn't stop wondering that, I wonder how things would have turned out, and he would have, because we found out later that it was a boy. And it was just like, and I just to go back a little, when we found out that he was a boy, I don't know, I was just so hurt. I was just like, wow, my little boy, and it was so, we wanted a boy after a girl, and it was just so perfect, and even that was taken away. And I had to teach myself, and it was very hard, because I remember I even said with my mouth, you know what, I don't want anything to do with God right now, because I feel like you have hurt me. And I said that to God. I'm like, God, you have hurt me. You really have hurt me. You understand? And I'm just like, I don't know. I just need time. It felt like I was breaking up with a boyfriend, but it's like, I need time to, just think things through. Obviously, it didn't take long for, me to ask for love back, but it's difficult. And the one thing that I struggled with is to open up about this thing, because the one time that I wanted to open up about it, I was told, no, you can't be telling people that you miscarried. Because in black communities, a person who miscarries is seen as a useless person. You are unable to carry a child, like, so it when those words were said to me, then it was just that thing out. Oh, so then this means that I am a useless person, I can't even carry a child, so it was hard for me to speak about it. It was hard for me to actually express how hurt I actually was, because I was supposed to conceal this thing, this shame, this thing that is deemed as shame, and it makes it even hard for people around me, I think, to relate, or to rather comfort me, because I had already built like a wall so that they don't see how hurt I actually am, and recently I remember we had a conversation with our friends, and talking about the inability of having children because of contraceptives and all of that. It wasn't even a deep conversation, but it hit me. It came back to like, maybe I lost the baby because I was on that injection. My best friend texted me, and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? I know that this conversation is triggering." And I was just like, "Yeah, well, it is triggering, but it's okay. These are conversations that need to be had, And I just wish that I just wished I had that with everybody else, especially in my family, where it's not taboo for me to speak about things, so that I can heal, and I feel what I would have done, differently, is to talk. The more you talk about what hurts you, you teach people how to respond to your hurt. You teach people how to comfort you, because at the end of the day, it it this is something that taints you. This is something that hurts you, and this is something that can threaten, your sanity, and you need a support system around you. So I remember, and then I started having the fear of falling pregnant again, because I'm thinking, what if I lose the baby again? What if this? What if that? And then I'm like, I also have a fear of not falling pregnant, because I'm like, what if I can't have a baby? So I'm always just looking out. So I posted the other day, I'm just like, I'm so glad I'm over the fear of falling pregnant, and I'm now looking forward to receiving my rainbow baby. But it took a while for me to get there. It took a while, because for the longest of times I was so mad, I was so angry, and it happens at times where you feel like, what, you have lost your faith. You feel like things are not going your way, things are not, opening up the way that you thought they would. You think, God really is not for you, and it's okay. I honestly feel like it's okay to feel like that. He's your father, and you need to go back to him and be like, you know what, Lord, you know what, Dad, I'm hurt, you are hurting me, and I need you to make it okay, make it better. I mean, this is a prayer, it's not a deep prayer, it doesn't have bombastic words or whatever, but I prayed that prayer, and that prayer took me to the eye of the storm, and that's where peace resides, and I was like, you know what, Lord, you hurt me, like, you have hurt me, and I am sore right now, but I know that you're the only one who can take away the pain, and I had to now start living in the truth that he's the only one who can take away the pain. Yeah, and for me to come to a point where I can actually speak about it is because I held on to the words that he was saying to me. So instead of running away, because I know I am hurt because of him letting all of this happen to me, I ran back to him, and I'm just like, I need you to correct it, and I need you to tell me how to live this thing out. And when he was telling me, like I said in my testimony video, that when he told me that you are going through this so that you can have compassion towards other people, I held on to that, because there were so many words out there that like, yeah, you lost the baby, your baby will be doing, that baby is not dead, that baby is going to do this, you'll never have a child again. And I refused to listen to those words, because there's a word I received from God, and I'm holding holding on to that word. And it's very important that when you go through something and you feel stuck and you feel like things are not going the way that they should, go back to your source. Go back to God, because only his words will put you through a lot of things, and a lot of people will try and speak into your life, and that will frustrate you, that will depress you, that will drive you into things that you're not supposed to be exposed to. But if you stick to God's word, that will keep you. And I feel for sure that I'm kept by God's word. I am kept by the truth and the knowledge of the fact that, you know what, there's nothing that he cannot do for me, that he loves me, and whatever that he does it out of love. So yeah, that is my story. I called my son Hope because I felt like, like I said, he brought so much hope into me. And when I realized yesterday after crying, I'm like, I didn't lose hope. He actually came and revived a hope I didn't know that I was losing. I didn't know before I found out I was pregnant that I was losing hope. And he came to remind me that, you know what, there is hope. And when he died, my hope didn't die with him, but it was revived and restored. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment down below if you have anything to say. And don't forget to like, to subscribe to my channel.